What's up, everybody? It's your boy Skinny Moose, and I brought on a special guest today, the legend himself, Carnage. And there goes my damn lighter. So let's go ahead and kick this off. What? Actually, first of all, I'd like to thank you for your service and your time over there.
No, thank you for having me on.
And what made you become a wrestler?
I watched it growing up with my brother religiously every Saturday morning. The more I watched it, the more into it I got. Started picking up magazines, reading up on the indies, and just overall just got obsessed with it.
Watch her. I understand that. I understand that. Um, how is it working for XPW, and would you do it again?
XPW, I'd say, was a good experience. I came in as part of the first class of their asylum. I learned a
So
lot
you
as
was
far
in
as the
there with
backstage.
Jimmy.
I learned
You
how
was in
to
there.
do it all.
You was in there with homeless Jimmy when he first came in, right?
Yeah, Jimmy, Supreme, all those guys were mentors. They all helped and had a hand in my training.
Hell yes. What is your worst injury or your major one?
Worst injury. Let me see. Well, during training, almost broke my neck. I compressed my spine, pinched nerves in my neck, and I was in a wheelchair for about a good month and a half. Um, Other than that, during a match, I partially dismembered this finger, the middle finger here. There's stitches right in. I don't know. I'm trying to see. Right along the middle finger. See the scars?
Oh yeah, you could see it, kinda.
Um, yeah. So we're in the match. Put the uh, board with light tubes propped on the ropes. I took a drop toe hold through it, and I guess the tension of the rope sprung the board back, and the light tube went right in and kind of just damn near took it off.
That's the match
It,
that you almost lost your finger in, ain't it?
yeah, yeah. So I went to the back. We taped it up, finished the match, then had to get to the hospital and have it reattached.
I was thinking in that match because I wasn't for sure if you actually lost your finger. Excuse me, hold on. Or if you just cut it really bad. And I was listening to the commentators, and I thought that you actually lost your finger in that match. I was like, holy shit.
No, it was about, I would say about 80% off. It was hanging towards the back, like on this
Oh
side.
shit.
So when I looked at my hand, I only saw four fingers, and I had to look underneath, pick it up, and then once I saw that the other side was okay, I just kind of gripped it, um, duct taped it up, and then finished the match. After the match, we had to go to the hospital.
Oh shit! And I know your injury about when you got burned and spent like a month and a half in the hospital. Uh,
That was the body bag match. Yeah, we
yes, that match was fucking. So, have you
yeah.
ever thought about working for IWA Deep South?
I have actually. I think pre-COVID, I was scheduled to go out there. And then once COVID hit and all that stuff happened, it kind of got scratched out.
Yes, I'd love to see you in Carnage. I told my wife, I was like, that's one of my questions, and she said that's pretty cool. Putting Carnage into Carnage Cup. I was like, hey, if it works, it works. Have him win a Carnage Cup too. That'd be badass.
It would be. Yeah, I
So,
mean, I'm always open.
hell yeah, I'll have to tell Kevin because I'm like really one of the voices of Deep South. So yeah, I'll talk to Kevin for you. Um, where does the
Appreciate
face
it.
paint idea come from?
The
I
face
get the
paint.
vibe from like Frankenstein. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of the old original Universal monsters. The Frankenstein monster being my favorite. So when the gimmick came up, I knew I wanted to wear face paint because Great Muta was one of my favorites,
Uh,
and the whole face paint was just that mystery. So I just had to go a little bit more horror based. So yeah, I went more for the zombie kind of Frankenstein look.
how long does it take you to do your makeup or your face paint?
Now it takes me, I'd say, about 5 to 10 minutes. In the beginning, it took me about good 30 minutes.
Hot damn! Do you do it
Yeah,
yourself?
yeah, Yeah, I do.
That's cool as fuck. Every time I put on makeup or face paint, I can't do it to save myself.
Now, I mean, there was a time when I kind of debated if I wanted to keep doing the makeup, but I think I was too far into it, and I was like, I got to do the makeup.
Yeah, that's what kind of threw me off. Like normally when I do interviews, I've interviewed Cougar. He wore his mask and everything. I interviewed Little Sicko, and he wore his makeup. And I was like, I wonder, that's the mystery with y'all. Like, are y'all gonna be in gimmick or are y'all gonna be out? And
Yeah, I
I'm
figured if
used
I was
to,
gonna give you the real me, I had to do it without the face paint.
yeah, that's what kind of threw me off. I was like, he said he's gonna be get ready, so I was like, maybe he's gonna put on some face paint. But I
No, I
respect
just
that.
actually just got off of work, so I was like, all right, let me just shower and get myself set up.
All right.
Yeah,
So, what do you think about the young and upcoming talent, deathmatch talent?
I'd say there's a very good handful of up and coming talent right now. I think, especially on the East Coast and on the Mid South, there's definitely a lot of promise. A lot of new guys coming up, like practically every month. And I've always said, like, as long as there's deathmatch wrestling anywhere in on any part of the continent, we're in good hands.
That's true.
Unfortunately for me, I'm on the West Coast, and we just seem to be oversaturated with lucha libre, especially down, Southern California. So deathmatch wrestling down here isn't as big as it is over there, but we're trying to keep it going. But yeah, I think all the new up and coming talent is very promising, and I mean, I'd love to work any of those guys.
I'm in Kentucky, so like I don't get really death matches. I gotta go to like Indiana, Tennessee, West Virginia, New Jersey. So
Yeah,
yeah, Ian Rotten and Jim Cornette kind of had their feud and destroyed our death matches. So I'm like, well, thank you and thank you, but in reality,
right.
fuck both of y'all. Um, how was it facing Pondo and Homeless Jimmy, both in separate matches, of course, but for the CCW belt?
It was a I'd say it was an honor for me, definitely. Jimmy, it's been one of those long time matches I've wanted a one on one with. Um, I wish it would have been more of a just a one on one without the tournament involved,
Yeah,
to be able to give it our all. But I'd say the match with Pondo, I was maybe about 5 years out. It'd been 5 years since I'd been in the ring, so there was a lot of ring rust there, and I was kind of worried if I will still be able to perform at my level. But I think after he dropped that bowling ball on me, I kind of woke up, snapped back into it.
yeah, you gotta get back into reality.
Yeah,
Um,
after that, it was pretty good.
yeah, like I mean, like seeing you and Homeless Jimmy when you was the mystery guy, and I called the show. It's an older video we done, me and my partner. I was like, who the fuck could this mystery guy be? And never once did it cross my mind, fucking Carnage. And when the show dropped, I'm like, oh my fucking god, the legend returned, dude. I love your work. I was like, the
I
man that
appreciate
plays
that.
with fire. I'm so thrilled with how obsessed you are with fire. It's just something that I've gotten into. So, would you like to plug any of your social medias at all? Or anything in general?
But Instagram, I just recently got on Instagram after a long while, so that's at Dead Body 138, and my Facebook is Eddie Carnage. Um, Also, if you guys want to buy any merch, like this cool T-shirt I've got on right here, let me see.
Oh, that motherfucker's cold.
You can get that at Deathmatch Worldwide, and they've got
Deathmatch
a few other
Worldwide.
things. I've got some hoodies up there and a few other designs.
All right. So, is there anyone you would like to call out for a match?
I mean, like I said, there's a ton of guys. I know as far as my dream list, Low Life Louie's been one of the guys I've wanted to work for a while. A lot of respect, a lot
Oh,
of love for him. Um, Recently, I've watched Hardcore, some of his stuff, and I mean, I think it does a lot of great stuff out there. I'd love to work him. Um,
hardcore from X Brand or hardcore
yeah,
hillbilly?
no, Hardcore from X Brand.
Oh, I like hardcore. Yes, you and hardcore
Yeah,
would
he's
tear it up.
definitely got. I mean, a lot of good stuff coming out of there. Let me see. I mean, shit.
You
Pagano's
and
been one
Dr.
of my dream
Redacted.
matches. Down in Mexico, Pagano. He's one of the
Ooh.
guys. But I mean, I'm not gonna hold anything from anyone else. If anybody else wants to step in there, as long as they give me a good match, I'm always for it. I
Oh,
recently
you
worked
Dr.
Tommy
Redacted.
Trainwreck,
Good.
and I love that match.
Yes. Um, Now that you're back, what are some promotions that you would like to work for?
I definitely want to expand more of the continent. I want to expand. Looks like they're having a lot of fun out there. I'd love to step into there. IWA, I think that this year I can finally make it out there. Sona 23, I've been talking to them. So as soon as my passport gets fixed, I'll be doing that in January, maybe.
Oh shit.
Um, I mean, yeah, I mean, like I'm up for working other promotions. As far as California goes, I'm keeping pretty tight to CCW right now. Like I said, I'm trying to really get that deathmatch scene going out here,
Yeah.
and uh, just being old school, holding their championship belt. I don't feel right wrestling for any other promotion locally,
Yeah, I
doing what I do
understand
for
that.
them.
I understand that. Yeah, I'm good with Justin too, so I'll definitely have to drop your name across to him. And ICW Danny Demano, Danny sometimes, or he did at one time, accept fan ideas, so might be able to get you over there. I
All
feel
right, yeah, I mean, I'll take whatever you guys can help out with. I appreciate it.
fuck yeah, I'd love to see you in the chains. I mean, like, a lot of workers don't like to change because they said they don't get as much movement as the ropes. But I mean, it's brutal as shit if you ever seen ICW and HB. Them
Hey,
chains
I've
get
always said
pretty
I
brutal.
don't do springboards and I'm not a high flyer, so I don't mind it.
Yeah, you're more of a brawler from my aspect. Here, take it real quick. What was it like being trained by Supreme?
It was honestly very interesting. Going back to my training, I originally came in with more of a technical background. I wrestled collegiately. I have a MMA background. So when I started XPW, a lot of my work was just mat work and suplexes. Um, Once Supreme took me under, I just kind of like started developing more of the brawling style. And in the beginning, was kind of incorporating them both. But I think as the injuries pile on, the years get onto you. It's a lot easier to get by with the brawling.
Yeah,
But at the same time, I've got to keep it interesting, and I think that's where more of the fire comes into play, and a lot more of the crazier stunts come in.
yeah, and that's what I was thinking. Like, I'm a big fan of Deep South, and I was like, how the fuck has he never been in Deep South? That's crazy, and all the stunts and all the shit that he's
I mean, we've
done.
talked. It's always been like I said, either the timing's always been off. Something's going on in my personal life, and then when we finally had it all set up, pandemic hit.
Yeah, like one of the commentators, I think it was in a. I'm probably gonna missay it because I always do. UEW, I think it ain't it.
Yeah,
Yeah, one of the commentators was like talking about like how you would come back from an injury and then something would happen and you would go away for a little bit and then how you would come back and then something would happen and I was like checking out your history on Cage Match and I'm like, here's he works for a little bit and then something happens. I'm like, they was talking about some of your injuries and stuff and I'm like, dude, this man
yeah.
just keeps coming back. And one, I think it was Brandon Kurt said that in the deathmatch world, you workers know who's going to stay and who's going to just trying to get clout off of y'all. So what's your hobbies out of the ring?
Out of the ring, honestly, customizing. I like to customize action figures, be it monster stuff, comic stuff. So I collect a lot of just broken figure pieces or random stuff. Tear them apart, put them together, and just kind of keep my mind sane.
Hell yeah, I don't think I've seen any of your work. I don't think
No,
you
I
posted
rarely
on
post any of
Facebook.
it. I
Yeah, I was about
rarely,
to say,
yeah.
who gave you? Who would you say? so far in your career, who gave you a run for your money?
Run for my money. I'm gonna say Fern Owens gave me a run for my money. Fern is local guy. I would say he's one of your all around wrestlers. Very great technician, very old school. Likes to get in there nice and stiff. And Fern wasn't, initially a deathmatch wrestler, but he had no problem stepping into that world. And I think he gave me one of my rougher matches to date.
Uh,
I definitely walked away from that one feeling the effects of it for a couple days.
I
And
definitely
there was
gotta
there was
say,
no hesitation, no hesitation in him at all. There wasn't a moment where he second guessed anything. We just went right into it, and we worked so well together, like if we had known each other our whole lives.
I definitely gotta say, with your 15-minute timer, and your I Quit match, Vern is definitely one that he don't have a stopping point, and that's what we need more of in this up and coming boys. Like Doctor Redactic, if he's another one that does not have a stopping point. Um,
Yeah,
Little Sicko is another one, and I believe that as long as we have legends like you and Necro and stuff, then we'll get boys, will come up like Yoda, and as long as they're trained right.
yeah,
Will you? No, we didn't talk about that one. Was you BC's teacher or something? Because one of the commentators at UEW said that BC was your student.
yes. BC is my protege. He was basically from scratch. Trained him, molded him, and pretty much in my image. So BC is another one of those guys. I think so. Fern would be I guess, my toughest opponent today.
Yeah,
BC, my match with BC at Fuck the World 2 in UEW. That was probably my favorite match I've had. Both of us are big guys, and we went a good 30-35 minutes in that match. And for big guys, you give us 10-12 minutes and we're blown.
yeah,
But we went for about a good 30 minutes in that match, and we started off hold to hold. We wrestled a lot of that match and just build up to all the crazy stuff.
y'all have a long history and a long rival, and I've always
Yeah,
liked it when you two gotten in the ring because it don't matter if it's you or if it's him. If y'all are tagging or fighting separately or what, y'all y'all definitely shit. Excuse me. Y'all both bring something different to the table in each match.
hmm yeah. He's definitely coming to his own and developed his own style, and he's one of the guys I look at when I contemplate like where deathmatch wrestling is out here, and he makes me very proud every time I see him go out there.
Can we ask where did you get your love for fire?
Okay, so you're familiar with the XPW incident where Supreme burned himself.
Yes.
Okay, so at the time he was already mentoring me, and I remember the fire incident happened, and I visited him in the hospital. Um, he got home, and for a long time he wouldn't go near fire. He was like, I'm not doing any fire in my matches. He's like, he wouldn't even make a tortilla.
Oh
And
shit.
I told him, I said, I guess I finally found your kryptonite. I said, I'm gonna make fire my thing now. I said, because it's your one weakness. And it was started off as like a joke, and I just took onto it, and I kept going with it.
Hell yes. So now I guess that's your gimmick. Hell yes. I respect that. That's
Yeah,
pretty fucking interesting. That's that's definitely interesting. So what was it like sharing a locker room with Jungle Boy?
Jungle Boy. Well, I mean, he didn't have the status he has now, so I mean, he was just Nate, and he came in. He was actually one of Fern's students, and we just saw him as another worker. We never looked at him like, "Hey, you're Luke Perry's son," or anything. We just said, "Hey, here's your opponent. Here's who you're working. This is what we want out of you." and
I
he's very
understand
humble,
that.
very
Yeah.
very good kid. Listen to criticism, and it's worked for him. It's gone a long way.
How was it facing Masada and being scared by him in CCW? Everybody
That,
has
that
a
was actually
different.
short lived. um, it was a good experience. Just wish it would like I said, the tournament. I wish I would have gone a little bit longer. That was a four-way, and we didn't really get into it too much until the end. But yeah, I mean, I think that was a good experience. Masada's one of those guys who, when you think back in 20 years, deathmatch wrestling, it's like you won't be able to mention deathmatch wrestling without Masada.
Yeah, that's
And then the
true.
skewers, yeah, I think I've only taken skewers once before that. Um, Masada, that's his thing. So I was like, let's up it. And I think we tried setting it on fire at one point, but they wouldn't light. But yeah, I mean, it was a lot of fun.
Will you speak about being put in a body bag and set on fire and spending weeks in the hospital?
So I mean, I was on the inside, so I really can't tell what went wrong there. I know it was set out to be a body bag match. We've been building up the feud for 10 years between myself and Andre Verdun. Back then, used Suicide. And I know we played with fire, over the years several times. And that night, I don't know if it was the material in the bag or what it was, but it it caught quickly and it went through pretty quickly. And um, yeah, it just kind of was like dripping down as it came in. So yeah, I mean the burns were very severe, and the we actually ended up losing the building there. They wouldn't they banned UEW from that building after that.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
So what would you say is the most memorable thing you've done so far in your career?
So far, I'm gonna say holding this belt right now, and I'm gonna say it's because
Yes,
of this right here. I don't know if you can pick it up or not, but there's like let me see, right there.
I
It's like a
am able.
memorandum plaque in honor of Lester Perforce Supreme. So I think just holding this title and what it's tied to means a lot to me.
I respect that. That is cool as fuck. I've never knew that the CCW title had Supreme's name on the inside of it.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So, will you explain the last man standing match you and Fern Owens at UEW pledge your allegiance with a 15-minute timer? That match was kind of hard to understand. I didn't really get behind it. I didn't.
From Let me see if I can remember correctly. From what I remember, I believe it was set out to be the last man standing match, and it's kind of like a Texas death match where the 10 count comes into effect.
Uh,
Um, so your opponent has to be off his feet for a 10-second count, and the time limit expired. And then after the time limit expired, I think we went into like a sudden death type rule.
yeah,
So first man off his feet would lose.
yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah,
That makes more sense now because I was like, I knew the sudden death, and then like the last man standing, and then it was 15 minutes. I was like, what the hell type of match is this? But
yeah. So
thank you
yeah,
for
I think
summing
it
it
was
up.
the time limit expired. And then they gave us an extra 15 to go into that. And then at that point, it became sudden death.
Who would you say is your biggest rival?
My biggest rival currently, I wouldn't say I have a rival. I just got back, but I think things are picking up pretty quickly. And from the looks of it, I think JD seems to have a vendetta against the Devil's Brigade, which is a group I'm part of. And
Oh,
so, I mean, JD Horror might be one. Kruger, I mean, we'll see where this ends up. But at the moment, I would say well, not at the moment, but in the past, my biggest rival would have been Andre Verdun, the Vandal.
Yeah, that's what I was talking. Mean in the past, I should have
Yeah,
specified. Um, I'd have to say BC. UMBC had plenty of matches, and I definitely
BC
got.
is like a love and hate. It's one of those I put them out there, and yeah, we've had our rivalries. It's always been competitive. Um, it's like if he wins, more power to him. I win some. It's that we build each other up.
I understand.
You know.
Um, what do you what does he? Oh, what does he think is his most intense match? What is your most what? Shit, if I can get it out. What do you think is the most intense match you've ever had? I have to say the I Quit match with Fern Owens.
I think the I Quit match was one. Yeah, I'd say that one would be only because of the way we involved the fans on that one. Those fans are. I think the fans are a little bit more brutal than the workers are sometimes.
Yes, yes.
And then
That
handing the
that
fans staple guns and having them be lumberjacks. That just
I'm
was like a whole experience in itself.
I've never seen anything like it in my life, and I thought that was pretty fucking cool. And I was at Carnage Cup live, and I've never seen nothing like it. So,
I appreciate that.
um, do you come from a sports background?
Wrestling, like I said, I did martial arts coming growing up. But I mean, other than that, whatever my brother was into, I would be into. Um, so outside of wrestling, it was hockey, football. You know,
I, but that's all the questions I have for you,
no worries.
and I thank you for your time.
Well, I thank you for having me on.
You're welcome. I'll do a part two if you're down or want to do a part
Hey,
two.
I'm always up for you. You let me know when and where.
All right, bro. I'll try
All
to bring
right.
my partner on. He's a big fan of yours too.
All right. Yeah.
So, thank you for your time.
Thank you. All right.